Welcome, team, to week 2 of our Sales Excellence video series. As you'll see pictured in front of you is our E&E mantra logo, ready to lead, ready to follow, ready for anything. Yeah, come on. And I'm sure over the first few weeks we've come across all three of these things already. Many opportunities to follow, many opportunities to lead. And as we know, we have to be ready for anything on a daily basis because anything can and will happen, which I'm sure you've seen already. So with that said, we want to go ahead and introduce week 2's video, which is Let's Play Doctor. Sounds kind of funny, but the idea here is learning more purposeful qualifying techniques, more purposeful presenting techniques, so that we can better move our customers through the sales process funnel more efficiently, get them to that close, land the deal, and move on to the next guest. So we hope from this video that you pull at least a couple of takeaways or techniques as far as qualifying practices or presenting practices that you can add to your arsenal, or at least a fresh perspective on qualifying and presenting that maybe you haven't heard before. So without further ado, let's dive into this week's presentation. We're going to pull qualifying techniques from doctors and lawyers, and also pull presenting techniques from authors. So as we know, doctors who ask questions, they're very well known to ask questions that diagnose. So when we first go into a doctor's office, the very first thing they always ask is, why are you in to see me today? Much like on the sales floor when a guest steps into our booth, we want to quickly identify why they're in the booth and what interest they have in our products. For example, in a mattress booth, we may ask, what's going on with your current bed? Are you not sleeping well? Is there a specific pain point that you're trying to get relief from? Etc., etc. So in the doctor's office, they're going to ask, why are we in? And let's say we tell this doctor, I have a very bad stomach pain. And this doctor immediately pulls a pill out of his or her pocket and says, here, take this. You'll feel better tomorrow. And so how is this going to make us feel? My guess is that we're probably going to be pretty uncomfortable with this and have an unsettling feeling for the reason that this doctor did not ask any follow-up questions whatsoever. So how do they know what's really going on with us? They haven't earned the right to actually find out what the problem is or properly prescribe a solution for us. So we don't have confidence in this doctor's prescription, and at the end of the day, we're probably going to pick a different doctor and get their opinion. So what the doctor is actually going to do is ask a lot of follow-up questions to better gain an understanding of what's really going on with us. For example, how long have you had this stomach pain? Did it come shortly after you ate a specific food? Is it a dull, achy pain or a sharp stabbing pain? Is there any nausea or vomiting associated with this stomach pain, etc., etc., until they've actually come to a conclusion for what your issue is and how they can solve it. So this is important for several reasons. Diagnosing the patient. 1, it builds trust with that patient. 2, it places the doctor as an expert. 3, it clearly identifies the problem with the patient. 4, it prescribes, or it positions the doctor to prescribe the proper solution. And lastly, it gives the patients confidence in the solution and confidence of feeling better at the end of the day. So taking tips from this, often we find that we do get to the solution too quickly with a guest. For example, in the bed booth, we identify that the customer has back pain, and we immediately take them to a Tempur-Pedic and say, this is a great solution for you. These are the #1 beds for back pain in the world. And we've pulled out that magic pill, essentially, and told them this is the solution to all your problems. We haven't really asked enough questions to properly paint a picture of what they're going through and solve their problems. So we need to keep a conscious mindset of asking more follow-up questions, peeling the onion, in order to really paint a picture of what's going on with the guest. And we'll find qualifying through very purposeful questions or statements. For example, what, where, why, when, and how. For example, where is your back pain? Is it upper back, middle back, lower back? How long has this been going on? Is it stemming from an injury that you had back in the day? Or is it just sore muscles? Why do you feel like it's exacerbated during the night? How does this make you feel the next day? Or statements like, tell me about your back pain. Tell me how you sleep at night. Tell me how this affects your next day. Describe to me what you've been going through and how this affects you. These are all very good questions and statements that bring out what's really going on with the guest. It's going to help us paint a picture of what's going on with the guest, properly diagnose them, and offer them a legitimate solution. It's also going to show compassion for the guest needs and allow you to connect a little bit deeper with the guest too, which is going to pay dividends when you're closing. So essentially what we want to be able to do is ask enough questions to the guest that paints a very vivid picture in our mind of what's going on with the guest. Maybe they have a ruptured disc from a car accident 4 or 5 years ago. They've gone through a back surgery. It's just killing them on a nightly basis and really affecting their next day. Okay, cool. Now I can give you this power phrase. And what's really cool about this power phrase is it sets you up for the whole presentation that ensues. So the example of this is, I've worked with a ton of folks just like you with that same exact issue, and I have a few solutions in mind that worked really well for them. I'm 100% confident that they'll work for you too. Again, I've worked with a ton of folks just like you with that same exact issue. I have a few solutions in mind that worked really well for them, and I'm 100% confident they'll work for you too. What you've done is several things at this point. One, you've narrowed your selection of the floor, so a lot of times guests are wondering, well, I'd never tried that bed. That one could be great for me, so I'm going to just put up a fake objection and walk because I'm not sure that this is the perfect bed for me. So you've essentially given a power phrase that narrows the selection from like 15 beds to 3 or 4 beds because they're based on a solution that you know is good for them. 2, it places you as the expert, as the mattress, chair, or hot tub sales expert because you've asked the proper questions, you've worked with folks just like them, and you know it's going to work for them. It builds the guest's confidence in this solution too because you've had experience working with folks with the same thing. It also, very importantly, it removes price a lot of the time from the conversation because guests are willing to spend anything to solve their issues as long as they are 100% confident that it's a good solution for them. If they fear that it might not be a great solution, then price often becomes an objection. Lastly, it builds a lot of emotional desire in the product. They want what everybody else had that solved their issue, and it removes a lot of the objections that may come up throughout the sales process. So again, taking tips from how a doctor diagnoses a patient, we want to ask follow-up questions, peel the onion with a guest, really paint a picture in our heads of what's really going on with them, and that way we can properly diagnose what their problem is and set them up with the proper solution by taking them to a few beds that solved similar guest needs. So that's all about diagnosing like a doctor. Now we want to take some tips from asking questions similar to a lawyer. And these are really meant to set yourself up for the close at the end of the sales process. So what we know about lawyers is they ask questions to which they already know the answer. Think about that. Lawyers always ask questions to which they know the answer. And there's a very specific reason on why they do this. So lawyers always know the answer that they want to get. And they're going to take the people on the stand through a very specific line of questioning that's going to yield the answers that they want. And in sales, it's no different. At the end of the selling process, the answer that we want from a guest is, yes, I will buy this from you right now. And so a lot of times we're just hammering feature, benefit, advantage. But why not ask loaded questions to get the guest buy-in on the benefits so that we can use those statements against the customer at the end of the sale in order to hard close them. And so I want to give some examples of that and give a twist on the traditional feature benefit advantage. I would call this question feature benefit advantage. So wouldn't it be great if we could find a mattress for you today that would relieve your back pain and have you feeling better? Well, yes, it would. Well, great. One of the reasons why Tempur-Pedic does such a great job at relieving back pain is it wraps around your hips and shoulders, relieving that pressure, and it supports into the small of your back, putting you in perfect alignment so that at the end of the day you have no back pain. Do you think you'd benefit the next day from feeling better and having more energy? Yes, I would. Of course, and Tempur-Pedics are known to actually give people not only the pain relief, but have them more energized the rest of the day. Could you see yourself owning a bed that would relieve your back pain and help you feel better the next day? Yes, of course I would. Well, what's holding you back? Let's go ahead and do this today. If you were to begin relieving your back pain, when would be the best time to start relieving that back pain? Well, right now. Cool. I'm going to close you in about 10 minutes using that statement against you. So we use these loaded questions to get these answers from the guest. So we get the buy-in for the benefits we're about to pitch. And at the end of the day, when we're closing, we can use the statements against them in order to summary close and hard close them. And at the end of the day, get their business. So what do these types of questions accomplish? Well, we kind of summed it up One, they're close-ended, so you're going to get yeses or nos from these questions. You know what answer you're going to get to, so it sets you up perfectly to pitch the benefits of the product. Two, when you ask a question, you get the customer's attention. There's times throughout the sales process where they're tuning us out. Once you ask them a question, it tunes them right into the next thing that you're about to say. So if you're talking about the benefit of a product, ask them a question first. They're going to listen to the very next thing you say, and when it's the benefit of the product, that's going to help set you up for the close later on down the process. Lastly, you're going to get the guest buy-in, and you're going to connect the guests to the solution. So that's basically what lawyer-type questions do for you. They get the guest buy-in, they set us up for the close. Lastly, we want to talk about taking some presentation tips similar to what you might find from an author. So what we know about authors is in their writings and their works, they use compelling words to provoke specific emotions. So if you're reading a book, they're going to use very specific words and phrases to provoke specific emotions from you. Now, a lot of times when we're presenting to guests, we've done this so long and do presentation after presentation that we use a lot of the same generic words. Conforms, pressure relief, long-lasting, tossing and turning, that sort of thing. We can challenge ourselves to be a little bit more descriptive in our words and provoke that positive emotion from the guest. So for example, using that loaded question that we talked about, wouldn't it be great if we could get a bed that relieved your back pain? Rather than using conforms, we can use, hey, this bed self-adjusts to each of you individually. It contours to your specific curves. This custom fits to your body. It hugs into your lower lumbar. There's perfect surface contact from head to toe. It balances your body in alignment. These are all words that are a little bit more powerful than the word conforms. Rather than pressure relief, we can use it really absorbs your hips and shoulders into the bed. It accepts your hips and shoulders into the bed. It releases pressure off your body. There's no upward pressure against you. It promotes circulation. Rather than it lasts a long time, we can use this has a much longer lasting support and comfort than traditional beds. It's consistent in comfort and support over the lifespan of the mattress. You should be able to get 20 plus years of consistency in feel, comfort, support, and sleep. Rather than using weaker terms like you're going to toss and turn less, we can use you'll get a more peaceful night's rest, more undisturbed sleep, more perfect nights, more perfect mornings. You'll get that type of sleep you typically only get on vacation, or if you want to sleep like Dwayne Johnson on this bed, you will sleep like The Rock. A little bit cheesy, but it gets the point across. Lastly, you can also ask questions that evoke a little bit more emotion, such as, hey, instead of asking, hey, do you guys toss and turn a lot? We say, hey, have you been sleeping restlessly? Are you constantly shifting at night? Do you twitch or disturb or wake up your partner at night? Do you lose circulation and get that dead arm? It's basically sticking the knife in and twisting it in order to remind them of how bad their current setup is. And then we can also use phrases like, do you ever find yourself compensating for the lack of support in your current mattress by stuffing pillows in certain places or throwing your body in weird positions? Again, like reminding them of what their last night was and how this bed will eliminate having any additional nights like that. And then some power questions. So rather than just spending our time on selling them on why they should buy, have them sell you on why they wouldn't buy. Why wouldn't you do this? Like, why wouldn't you want to get a better night's sleep? Why wouldn't you want to relieve your back pain? Like, why haven't you done this already? You owe it to yourselves to do this. You deserve to get a better night's sleep. You don't deserve to have back pain every single night. Like, why wouldn't you do this? Sell me on why you wouldn't buy. And you'll find that they don't really have a good answer, and then they'll close themselves. And if they can't close themselves, then you can bring back what they said back during your lawyer questions and say, dude, you said the best time to start relieving your back pain would be right now. Were you not being sincere with me? And then you can hard close them at that point. So as a recap, you have your doctor type questions. They're open-ended. They diagnose, they build trust and confidence with the guest, and they place you as the expert. You have your lawyer type questions. They're close-ended. They grab the customer's attention. They gain the guest's buy-in for the benefits of the product, and it sets you up for the close. and then presentation techniques from an author using more compelling words and phrases to elicit emotion and desire from the guest, and connecting your guests to the solutions so that you can close them right there and then. That is basically it. Again, hope you gained a few things to add to your arsenal from this week's video. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out. Thanks, guys, and kick ass this week.